I came back to the heart of a Newton City because I wanted to check. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of World End Economica. My name as ever is Fudce, and let's carry on. A lot of people around here as usual. There's estimated 1 million transfer passengers here daily. The total number does compared to major metropolitan areas of terror. We're ahead in area population density because both the upper and lower levels are like this. Jam-packed wouldn't be an apt description, but it was crowded enough that you could graze shoulders with others, which was rather like a viscous fluid advancing within the station. Of course, I couldn't keep up with the speed of others around me, so it felt like it was a foreign object sitting in the middle of that fluid. I was still leading the way regardless, and not just because Chris had a terrible sense of direction. She also seemed bad at reading movements of others. I was still running to step on other people's feet a lot. Couldn't you take up a more mathematically efficient way of walking? Said this as I took a breather as we reached one of the corners of the premises, which acted like a small air pocket in the sea of people. She adjusted her shoulder bag, which looked like it was about to slip off, and took off body heat fogged glasses and cleaned them with a droopy sleeve. To solve an end-body problem, there are limits on computations, so I need a quantum computer. But other people are making their way through without getting tangled up. When lots of people, I get mixed up. I'm not criticising you. I pushed up the corner of my mouth and I made it into the shape of a smile. Just picking on you. When she does that, she's really, really cute. She moaned and glared, saying, "I'm going," and started off walking. My sight went above the heads of the people as I chased after Chris. For those last 4 years, I'd always been staring at the ground. That alone meant advertisements before me were new. Quite a few energy conservation advertisements. Huh? Quite a few energy conservation ads. A little unexpected. It was a symbol for energy with a red traffic sign indicating no passage painted on top of it. There were words, "End waste." Words moon and conserve just don't fit well together. Oh, that's not about conservation. We exited the station ticket gate. The tide of people seemed to have died down since we had been in the corridor of the terminal station building for a while. She explained to me that walking next to me was the same side as my cane. It's an advertisement for energy stocks. Huh? I looked at the advertisement once again. I looked at Chris in disbelief and she laughed happily. You take part in personal electricity trading, buying it cheaply at the right time to make energy bills cheaper. The advertisements around here are all by Avalon. So that's what it means. The main source of electricity on the moon is solar generation, so the price and amount are fixed, but demand is variable, and so the entire city divides the electricity quite finely to avoid the entire city losing power. Thus, abiding by the rules of supply and demand, the prices are vary locally at places. I say if the prices vary, then a way of investing in will arise. She got so flustered when speaking normally, but she could speak smoothly when it was stuff that sounds like it was written in a textbook. That's why she didn't seem cold or nasty, even though she was so frighteningly intelligent. I see. Next to it, more movie ad? One with the engine? Nah, they finished the rail and was going to be running a lower level, below the bottom of the station soon. A tram running under Newton City. Marco would really love that. It's because there's lots of immigrants coming in recently and lots of people stay for a long period of time. Recently, a classic terror culture had been becoming popular. Even Risa said she wants a kotatsu. Kotatsu? I had one at my parents' house, they're nice. I believe in Japan they offer oranges to a kotatsu, right? They offer oranges to a kotatsu? It didn't seem like she was joking when she said that. Ah, yeah, that's right. In summer we offer grapefruits. Oh, but a kotatsu in summer? It's so much fun picking on a genius who skipped grades and was attending Luna City University. Used to a lot more investment banking adverts than there used to be. There's a big boom right now after all. She said that nonchalantly, with a similar amount of indifference I asked. So, a bubble. Bubble? She had such a puzzled look at her face, looked like she was about to ask, "You mean gum?" When she realised we were talking about the market, she showed her usual troubled-looking smile. It's actual substance, so no, it's not a bubble. I don't think that tulip bulbs from that famous Dutch tulip bubble were holographic films, though. Chris's lips bent slightly. She looked off at the side as she pondered. When Chris pondered something, she had this type of subtle charm about her that was both solemn and innocent. Corporations are earning a lot of money every year in Luna City, so there's a constant increasing of steam and immigrants and tourists. Money earned in Tyra is investing into a moon's infrastructure, where building and houses are constantly being erected. There's now even a third city completed, and a fourth and fifth being planned. Certainly the baseless enthusiasm that occurred on Terra last century really ended up being a baseless made-up commotion. The moon isn't like that. This baseless enthusiasm she spoke about was caused by a legendary central banker on Terra, and described the word bubble perfectly. At that time it was an unprecedented IT bubble that happened, with leaps and bounds made in computer and communication technology. The age of a South Sea Company's fly-by-night outfit, which turned out to be a flat-out fraudulent corporation, was becoming the origin of the word bubble. It even fooled Isaac Newton and left him broke. The stock was fraudulent corporation constantly set new record highs. Right at the end, all the wealth vanished with a pop. The amount was said to be equal to about $3 or $4 trillion. It was all just an enthusiastic delusion of grandeur that information technology would renew the entire world. Also, although humanity had reached to the moon, Terra hadn't changed that much at all. Look, there are even advertisements for attracting new people to live in houses of a new city. New houses and new cities aren't a fraud. That's true. Also, lunar surface can start off with new technology that can't be invented well on Terra because of its untouched land. Even we have advanced countries on Terra still erecting power cables and communications via landlines. So there are many places with barbaric civilizations. She shrugged her shoulders, saying it's so inefficient. A few hours ago, I read an advertisement, much more like that on a corporate webpage. That's how the moon is able to progress at a much more efficient pace than anywhere on Terra. Also, the economic growth you see right now before you is incredible. And not the same as the stock market. She was somewhat skilled at making long speeches without ever stuttering. Or maybe she was just engrossed in the contents of what she said. That undoubting face believed in advances on the moon would connect humanity to a future. Moving down the corridor packed with people, we arrived at the entrance of a shopping mall that was practically part of the station. I like that. Got the spice closet, you got the Alexander tail. Although, why are always got places just selling women's underwear, I wonder? The walls were glossed over with advertisements as usual, one after the other, stimulating the people's desire to purchase. The amount of people walking up and down the path with their hands filled with stuff increased. We began being able to pick out people wearing fur coats and were probably real. A steady development. Doesn't this rapid development on the moon look like a bubble? I think so. This is a brand new world, so incomparable to Terra's. People have lived on Terra for hundreds of thousands of years, so I think it's difficult, even people on the board of the moon, to both genetically and cognitively. She answered with a broad grin on her face. Chris was even more of a lunar punk than Marco said. A Lunarian riding a mainstream at a lunar surface, trying to head out even further. I was gazing at a naked mannequin with an aggressive 70% off red tape wrapped around it. I didn't dislike what Chris was saying. It did feel like something was getting in the way of letting her dive down straight into it. He really seemed to hold back around Risa. Those casually spoken words caused Chris to jerk into a smile. The smile was also slowly becoming a cringe. I hadn't talked to Saru about it. Ah, so that's why you're on good terms. I don't mean negatively for Risa, you know, but Risa's just a bit too stuck in her ways. She wasn't criticising Risa, just said that she both couldn't feel excited together. It's possible to be picky with anything. When I said that, Chris looked over at me with puppy dog eyes. It's always so suspenseful watching someone go after her full speed, never knowing when they'll tumble. I have fallen a lot. Chris pouted as she turned off to the side. Well, if you fall, you can just go back to Risa's place. She was kind, even for how harshly I tumbled. She made a face like she herself was being hurt when I said that self-deprecating thing. She showed me a smile like she was relieved I'd gotten over my episodes, probably because she admired me. But I didn't feel confident that I could live up to that. I hadn't been living up to it for the last 4 years. So, since I was having trouble, I pushed up the corner of my mouth with my fingers. When I did, Chris also gave a small troubled chuckle and sighed in a slow, deliberate manner. I went to your house too. A smile of hers, one would tell me it was alright whenever I had an episode. I shrugged my old shoulders and said this. Then I guess I'll stay at the church next. Huh? Really? When I responded to Chris's sudden blushing with a shrug, she puffed out her cheeks and nudged me on purpose. We continued on like that until we reached a shopping area. The ceiling pressed down against our head was suddenly gone. There was another mall on the floor above, visibly just by looking up. We had floating corridors connecting as if spanning a ravine, and what seemed to be a base of a ravine was a flowing river. Both ends of the ravine stretched out quite high upwards, leading to a large glass ceiling, but through which the angry red painted dome of a city could be made out of a distance. There's an expression to gild with lily, and this embodied it perfectly. Wait, what was it? This is the largest in Newton City? This is but one part of Clapton Square, the largest shopping mall in Newton City, and the largest shopping mall period, even including all the shopping areas on Terra. She said that confident, returning her gaze from the show window with incredibly expensive boutiques on either side of her. But I believe you'll always be more surprised if you go down further this way. Oh? Looking upwards from where we were just then, we could easily see more than 10 floors on either side, all of which, of course, had the shops on either side. There were innumerable side streets, and the shops continued further into the distance. If I were to count them, it would be easy past 1,000. I thought of that as I passed the show windows. Mostly had black, gold and silver coloured patterns. I didn't know the prices, but there were black suited butler-ish employees standing straight at the entrance. Were most likely not cheap. Even so, these employers were seeing off quite a few people, seeing their business was doing quite well. What was the rent on this? The labour cost, the initial cost? As I ran through those things in my mind, I felt as though I had suddenly lost my footing. When I realised it wasn't the case, I'd overcome a feeling similar to dizziness. After giving a soft, gentle chuckle, Chris spoke in a lively voice. This is Clapton Square's big hotel. It was an enormous hotel. No, it looked more like a basin of a waterfall. There was a structure there like a semicircular amphitheatre, sort of place you go to see classical plays and operas that seemed to rise up further down you went. Here it was done to extreme, so if you looked down from a reinforced glass paling above, the people at the bottom were no bigger than specks of dust. It fanned out and dipped away to the bottom. At the bottom there was an escalator moving upwards, similar to a flow of water on a waterfall. The centrepiece of this, which connected to the opposite end of a semicircular stacked mall, large enough to install agoraphobia in anyone, was this hotel's atrium. Apparently there are 71 floors and 34 basement floors, 2619 shops with 20 movie theatres, 9 hotels, 4 aquariums and 5 grand theatre halls. Also 3 fire stations and 3 police stations whose jurisdiction is here. But I said we were taking the tour of the entire Clapton Square would take a week. I had no words. The atrium of this hotel was so large that I couldn't help but think you'd be able to see it from Terra with a telescope. The missing child staff and guide staff send messages to each other with flashlight signals. See over there right now? There's a place alternating red and green lights. That probably means someone's lost and may want to get over there. Yeah, if one really paid close enough attention, there was an almost annoying amount of light flashing there and here and there. The pale beams of light sometimes shot around were probably good enough guiding. But no one would believe that handmade signals would find use on the lunar surface of a frontier of humanity. But with this, they wouldn't have to deal with searching on a terminal, relying on 3D floor map that became more confusing and more detailed you got. Virtual data ended up limited to virtual realm. It was easy to figure out where you needed to go after you saw it with your own eyes. It seems like the motif was, do what could not be done in Terra. I did somewhat understand Chris's feelings as she recited that proudly. I couldn't utter a word, I could only gaze upon the overwhelming splendour. Come on, let's go. There are quite a few places to see. She spoke unusually cheerfully and then began walking. She took my hand quite normally. Naturally. This was probably the very peak of the lunar surface where Chris existed and could act without hesitation. Clapton Square seemed to contain everything and anything one would need. An unbelievable number of clothes, jewellery, furniture and so many stores treated as general stores. I saw a Terran travel agency. There was also an agency for migration to new lunar cities, pet shops, a division of an art gallery, paintings, Terranware, and even a bookstore dealing in authentic books. There was a sports gym, but seeing the people working on the other side of a pane puzzled me. Why work out here of all places? Anyway, but one thing we had in common was all run bustled with our customers. Not a single one appeared idle. Also, because the air conditioning here was steady like the outer district, it was quite hot. So in anticipation of that, there were fruit bars and ice cream shops are scattered about. Neither Chris and I could beat the temptation. We were shocked that one ice cream was 15 moors. That's the average pay for 2 hours of work at a part-time job in the outer district. Yet customers came one after the other. It was a very definition of persistence. Chris and I ordered a cone with heaps of blueberry and blackcurrant ice cream. Both ate it with spoons. During that time I counted how many customers came in per minute and getting the approximate number of shops estimated how immense their daily profit was. I could only give a half-hearted response to it when Chris spoke. It's quite good. Pretty different world from the outer district. Here was the lunar surface I knew nothing of. After finishing about half the ice cream, Chris and I started walking again. My head was spinning, imagining things that there was this much economic activity, and there were shops no matter how far we walked. For more stories, I chose to pause in front of a real estate agency. I chose to pause here as well. As ever, thank you very much for watching. My name is still Fudce. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.